Jake, how's your bracket looking, dude? Because I got to tell you, this bracket right here is more indicative of the disaster.
Because it's garbage.
Well,
dude.
But if you look at the Sweet 16, I mean, Houston and Miami is not the end of the world in the Midwest. Xavier as a 3, Texas as a 2, not a disaster. But you get down to Kansas losing to an 8 seed Arkansas.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
That's a disaster. UConn good, UCLA, Gonzaga good, Bama good. You look at, though, San Diego State somehow is there and Virginia is not. How about the mighty Tortillas?
The mighty Tortillas.
Hey, man, they throw mean tortillas.
Yeah, the bracket is a disaster this
like
year.
15 Princeton?
Yeah, and I think that, in the program today, we need to have a conversation about,
how is Painter not fired at Purdue yet?
Yeah,
is that what we should talk about?
How do you have a guy who's 7'2", and you've got the FDU's biggest player is 6'6", I think they said. How did you lose that game? How is it that the Pac-12 finds a way to go into the tournament and lose every game? It's a joke, man.
Well, UCLA won. UCLA won. But I agree with you. I think it's really interesting that when you look at situations like Painter at Purdue, or you look at ASU somehow giving a game away, pick your poison here. I do think one and dones are having a big impact on the NCAA tournament. Call me crazy, but I just don't see how the NCAA tournament is healthy at this point when your best talent's playing in the NBA. I mean, I struggle with Kansas because Kansas was championship material again. Now, obviously, Bill Self with the cardiac situation, he's had heart surgery. Okay, I'll give you that. There's no excuse for how bad they were.
Yeah.
There's just no excuse for it, Jake. And I think that's the issue, is that you're losing guys, one and done. So, I mean, John Calipari at Kentucky is a different story because a lot of people are criticizing Cal for the way that he plays, and it's a really simple X's and O's offense. It's not hard to defend.
Right.
Their talent is less. Okay, I get all that. But it's harder and harder to play complex offense when guys are in your system for 3-4 months, and then they're gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're having a cup of coffee at the college level, I mean, really, what really is college basketball? It's a scouting combine season, essentially. It is, hey, you're really talented. You're going to play in a D1 program under a legendary head coach and Calipari or whatever coach you want to point to. And you're basically going to show off your talent for one season. And then if you have the ability, if you're good enough to go to the league, then go to the league. I personally don't have a problem with these kids chasing the bag. I don't. It's not the kids' fault that the rule says that they can be a one and done and go get paid. This isn't about the kids. What it's about is the fact that you have a situation where, the NCAA is suffering from its best talent leaving after one season. And I think it is on the flip side of this conversation. It's what makes the college football playoff so dynamic because we get to see, Bryce Young develop over a couple of seasons. We get to see Stetson Bennett, Stetson Bennett's story of not having a locker and then winning a national championship before it's all said and done. It doesn't exist if football is a one and done setup. But why is football not one and done? Well, because it's grown-ass men on the gridiron in the NFL who bench way more than you bench and squat way more than you squat and have 5 years of growth advantage on you, playing against kids at that point. And the NFL is not going to allow that. The college, the NCAA is not going to allow that. So that's why I think college football has this sort of progression to it, this building of story to it. And that, on the other hand, is why I think you're never going to get, the Michael Jordan UNC career. You're never going to get, whatever guy you want to point to. You're not going to get 3-year guys anymore who then go to the league. That's so rare because the fact is the longer you stay at the college level, the longer you play for free, essentially, if you're not a big NIL guy.
That's right.
The longer you expose your body to injury risk, the longer your career is being put in jeopardy. And guys aren't going to do that.
Yeah, I think the one and dones really do hurt the tournament. And, just looking at the quality of play, that's a big deal. And you know who comes to mind in this? Gonzaga. because you have Drew Timme there who feels like he's been there for 15 years,
Yeah,
right?
Timmy.
I like Gonzaga.
Small programs like Gonzaga generally don't go and get, hey, one and done, I'm going to the NBA next year, we'll see you later.
Hey, Zion, come to Gonzaga.
But isn't that why when you run into guys like Kentucky, Kansas, when you run into guys that are in this tournament, John Shire taking over at Duke, or
Duke is Duke.
The situation at Carolina, I know there's a lot of complexity there and how disappointing they were, but it's really hard when you can't learn an offense. And furthermore, you don't need to learn that offense or invest in that program because you're going to the NBA next year.
Yeah.
So I think we have been absolutely slighted. I think we have been absolutely slighted about what the NCAA tournament was and what the NCAA tournament is.
And by the way, if you take the one and done thing out of it and you just look at the bracket and take it at face value, I'm not so sure that all these upsets are amazing. I can get down with, FDU beating Purdue. I can get down with, some of these, just ridiculous upsets. That happens every single year.
But look at Jim Choi. Having huge upsets is why it's called madness.
Yeah, and hey, I'm good with that. Like, if that's how we feel, great. That's awesome. If the big upset that wrecks everyone's bracket is something that brings eyes to the TV, then great. I just when we have it just to me feels like we have like an exorbitant amount this year. Like, it feels like we have a bunch of teams blowing games that they should not blow at all.
Well, and it doesn't help that you get Gonzaga with a huge no call on a travel that leads to a three that I think really turned the momentum of the second half. I think that doesn't help.
Right.
Or because I thought TCU had a better than a puncher's chance to win that game.
Right.
But you've just had these things. By the way, I tend to agree with Jim Choi. I don't necessarily think that upsets are the end of the world. I truly don't. I think that there is a lot of value when you look at a Gonzaga, or when you look at Steph Curry doesn't exist in today's world if he doesn't run the table, or if Murray State with Ja Morant or whoever these other young guys are. Look at how good Devin Booker and Anthony Davis were, or Karl Anthony Towns, these guys need that college experience. Frankly, it's what scares me about lowering the age limit.
Right.
It really does worry me, because I think it's good to have kids in college.
Yeah.
And it's the tape you sent me on Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders, and I know we talk about Prime on this show, I feel like every day.
But I think it's super relevant.
But Prime stood in front of his football team the other day, and he said, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. 95% of you guys are not going to the NFL. You need to get your grades.
Yeah.
You need to get your master's degree, your bachelor's degree, right? Like 95% of you aren't going to hear that sound.
Yeah.
Right? And Deion Sanders stood in front of his class and said, hey, I'm telling you now, if you roll in here with, 3-4 Fs, you're not going to play on our team. You're going to be in academics. Everybody else is going to be on the football field.
How can we trust you to execute a play if you can't even get grades?
Yeah.
He literally said that. And when I heard him say that, I was just like, dude, like, everyone bags on Deion for not being an educational guy, and he got the standards lowered at Colorado. And I'm just like, dude, like, college basketball, college football, like you have to get grades to be able to play.
Absolutely.
And so for me, it's like, I guess when I saw that, I was just like, Deion's the complete package. And I look around college athletics, and I feel like, when the Sean Millers roll through, education's not exactly first. Like, there's too many times when Rick Pitino's getting hired today where I feel like, hey, maybe education isn't first. Maybe Rick Pitino just wants to come in, get his guys paid, get him to the league, and move the hell on. That's honestly what it feels like. And I think the one and done thing plays into that. But again, the one and done situation doesn't apply to college football. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's, obviously the physical limitations, like I was saying, are pretty straightforward. You can't have an 18-year-old going up against a 30-year-old. That's not going to work physically on a football field. But I do think that this whole concept of those guys having to work their ass off for 3 years and really make sure that, hey, my grades are good, like, I'm disciplined, like, Prime's going to kick me out of the weight room if I wear white socks instead of black socks because black socks is the team standard. Like, all those experiences, I think, really help you and make you become a better athlete for that NFL squad that's eventually going to draft you.
Yeah, I agree. Woo! All right, off to a flying start today on the Monty Show. Don't forget that the official energy partner of the Monty Show is Bucked Up Energy. Let's go. I've got my white today, and this is what I love about Bucked Up is Jake cracks open his.
Let's go.
The black cans are 300 milligrams of caffeine. The white cans are only 100. It's 3:00 in the afternoon.
We're going white. We're going hundo.
Here on this show, we are prioritizing our sleep.
Yeah.
This is a mango tango, friends.
Dilly.
You can see that mango tango.
Yeah.
Bucked Up Energy, sugar free.
It's bomb, dude. It's
So
absolutely
good.
bomb.
So good, and it gives you just the right amount of kick. It's why I always tell you, don't take our word for it. Nothing we do on this show do we ask you to spend your money and just take our word for it. In the description below, there is a link to get free samples of Bucked Up Energy.
I thought you said free.
Free, as in $0. You get 3 free samples. Look at it. I have it every day. 50 ounces of water.
Yeah,
Go
water.
get your Bucked Up water. Go get your Bucked Up shaker cup for free. Get your 3 free samples of Bucked Up for free by clicking the link in the description below. You guys, I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. I have loved our partnership with Bucked Up, and it really helps when you guys, buy the stuff, when you guys send us pictures, when you guys, show us that you're drinking Bucked Up Energy. But you don't have to do that. Go get the free stuff, man. Go click the link, get the free Bucked Up Energy. 3, not 1, 3 samples of your choice. I personally would advise you get the Bucked Up pre-workout. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They ship nationwide right to your front doors. You can pick the colors of your shaker cup. You can pick any of the 3 samples you want. My wife happens to love their super greens. I put them in my shake this morning. I got home from the gym where I bench pressed Jake's fat ass up into the air because I was on Bucked Up. Got home, made my shake. I put the kale in there, put the berries in there.
Do you even lift?
Put the Bucked Up protein in there, and then I put the Bucked Up super greens. So good. Get a sample. It's all online. Click the free sample link below for Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show.